Hello. River flows across the UK have been responding to the much-needed rainfall we've had this week. For some, though, it has been a little bit too much all at once. Take you to Kent and Sussex in particular, where only 6 days into the month we've already had double the normal November rainfall in a few spots. That will help to top the reservoirs up. They'll take a little bit longer, but more rain to come. Some heavy showers across the southeast through the night and into the morning. And then the rest of the week, like we'll see into Monday, low pressure dominating to the west.
And a beautiful rainbow. Morning, Carol.
Morning.
Good morning, both. Good morning to you too. Sal is quite right. And we'll see a few rainbows today. For the start of this week, low pressure is firmly in charge. So it's going to be unsettled with occasional rain, windy as well. But as we go into the second half of the week, we've got a ridge of high pressure building across us. So things settle down. It'll be drier and sunnier.
He said it was good to get back to what he loves doing best. And a lot of his jokes involve the weather, don't they? Have you noticed?
They do.
So it's about fine rain.
Soaks you through.
Soaks you through. Gets you really wet.
Carol knows all about that. Morning, Carol. Have we got any fine rain that's going to soak us through today?
We've got heavy rain that's going to soak you through, Sal. And Peter is not wrong. Good morning, everybody. This morning, it's a fairly cloudy start to the day. For some of us, it's also a damp one as well. We've got some heavy rain and we've got some showers in the forecast.
Hello, Jane. Thank you. It is looking quite turbulent, actually, for some of us over the next 24 hours or so. Already some fairly rough seas there for a weather watcher in Plymouth, and those seas are set to get a little bit rougher as we go through the rest of today into tonight. We'll see some heavy bursts of rain accompanied by some really squally gusty winds, and this is the reason why. This is our satellite picture, and this stripe of cloud here with a really clear back edge, that always shows us that we've got quite an active weather system on our hands, an active cold front which will swing its way eastwards as we go into tonight. It's going to bring a short, sharp burst of heavy, perhaps thundery rain and some really squally winds, some rough seas as well.
Hello there, good afternoon. Well, it's been wet and windy yet again today. This is Heathrow as captured by one of our weather watchers earlier on. Now it stays quite breezy, a brisk southwesterly wind as we head through the rest of the day.
Now, Sally, we chatted about the weather earlier.
Yeah.
And it's been wet, it's been damp, it's been horrible. Is it going to continue for another week?
Well, no, actually, is the good news. But it has been really grim, hasn't it? We've got photos of the flooding. I mean, just really yucky, particularly if you are standing next to a car that sprays you like that. That is Clapham. No one's done it to me yet this season, but I did have it happen last season. Also be some strong winds as well. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal tree. And the last picture, I think, is of Haringey. I tell you, I've got a wormery. So that is also a bit of a pain because when it rains, the worms try to escape it. So now I also have to go to my wormery and empty out the water. So just another thing to do. But I did choose a wormery. Anyway, the good news is eventually the weather will get better. Hello again. Well, after all that rain over the weekend, this little one was even trying to get inside. There we go. A fox, needless to say, didn't succeed, but well done for trying. Right, we've got more rain, I'm afraid, overnight tonight in the small hours, wet and windy conditions, and then tomorrow again, blustery showers moving through. But as the week progresses, things should become drier.
Hi there, Hugh. There is probably not much to laugh about, I'm afraid, with the weather at the moment. There's quite a sting in his tail coming through the night tonight. Just take a look at what's happening down in Cornwall as we speak. The seas are starting to whip up, the winds are strengthening. There's a storm coming through the night tonight, but it should be a short, sharp shock. Anything drier on the horizon?
Well, yes, Rhys, actually. It's been very wet and very windy again today, hasn't it? I'm going to show you some of the best bits, though, of today's weather. So, beautiful rainbow. We did have some brighter spells. This was captured by weather watcher Marta in Acton, and it was a lovely sunset as well as captured by weather watcher here in Harrow. So, we are looking at some clear spells overnight tonight, certainly at first, but we do have some showers waiting in the wings. Now, for the rest of the week, well, it's pretty unsettled again tomorrow. More showers in the forecast, but after that it's set to turn drier and it will be feeling very mild. Temperatures are a good 3-4 degrees Celsius above where they'd normally be at this time of year.
Now, we saw earlier the dire warnings, didn't we, about our climate from the UN Secretary General. Becky is here in the studio with me. And Becky, you know, this is always a debate, isn't it? But do you think we've reached the point now where the extraordinary weather we've been having is undeniably down to climate change?
I think that we are definitely at that point. The weather has been fascinating recently and not necessarily in a good way. Historically, just a few years ago, we certainly were seeing some really very interesting situations. And very recently, when forecasters were asked, you know, was this a result of climate change? Well, we would also say, well, it appears so, but time would tell. Now, time really is telling and so is the weather. We saw the UK's highest ever recorded temperature in July, 40.3 degrees, only 3 years after the previous hot temperature record was broken. This even shocked the world of weather. It happened so much faster than we had anticipated. Every month this year has been warmer than average, and November is likely to be the same as well. 2022 could end up being the warmest year on record for the UK and around the globe. And what about the rain, or lack of it? This summer brought droughts and hosepipe bans for large swathes of the UK, some parts seeing no measurable rain for weeks at a time. But now it's the intensity of the long overdue rain that everyone's talking about. Just this weekend, the Isle of Wight had nearly a month's worth of rain in just one day. These intense downpours are not normal. They are happening as a result of the atmosphere warming. How? Well, warmer air holds so much more water, so much more moisture, and in turn that leads to these sudden massive downpours of water, amounts that our infrastructure simply cannot cope with. Just look at the Environment Agency's latest flood alert picture, the result of the rain in the last 24 hours alone. So certainly very unsettled indeed over the next few days. We are looking at sunny spells and thundery downpours this week, gale force winds as well, and increasingly mild as we work towards the end of the week. So very lively conditions to end the week, and definitely for tomorrow night it is going to be pretty windy as well. A very windy period to expect, so the weather continues to be a talking point.
All right, Becky, thank you.